Starting on the orange mat, run along the warp wall and dismount straight to the blue mat from the warp wall without touching the ground in between. Up next, take a hook in each hand, leaving the platform before removing one from its original starting position, and get one of the hook holds onto the last carabiner before dismounting to the blue platform. You can't drop a hook at any point to hook hold. Up next, use hands and feet on the rope as needed to traverse as far along the rope as necessary to reach for any of the doorknobs, and use at least the last doorknob before dismounting to the red mat. Make sure you stick the landing only on the red mat. Up next, use the truss to climb up or jump up to the overhead truss as needed and complete a lâché to each of the wing nuts. You must lâché, no spanning, and from the last wing nut, dismount onto the red mat, and the red mat only. You cannot overshoot. Up next, walk along the beam as far as needed to reach out or jump to the rings and complete a lâché from the rings onto the dismount box indicated. Either reach out to the rope or use the pulley to bring the rope closer, and then contacting only the rope, dodge past the big black box and dismount onto the blue mat to finish the obstacle. Use the trapeze bar to get to the cane, and then do a lâché transfer with the cane from one set of holds to the other, hitting the big gap, and then transfer from the cane in the second set of holds to the dismount platform, and not overshooting, making sure you stick the landing. Up next, in as many or as few moves as possible, get both sides of the salmon ladder bar up to the very top rung before dismounting past the blue mat, and then hitting the buzzer to finish your run. Starting on the orange mat, running along the warped wall and dismounting onto the big black mat that has the blue mat on it as well, skipping the lower mat in the middle. Up next, using the hook holds, get at least one of the hook holds into the last carabiner before dismounting to the big blue mat. If you drop a hook hold before one is in the last carabiner, you have failed the obstacle. You're not allowed to do single carabiner moves. Single hook hold moves. Up next, climb up the rope, hands and feet as needed, traverse as far along the rope as you need to get to the doorknobs, and then use at least the last doorknob to dismount to the platform, the big blue platform in this case. Up next, you're going to climb up the truss and traverse along to the first wing nut, complete 2 lâchés from all of the wing nuts, so first wing nut, second wing nut to third wing nut, and then dismount onto the dismount platform, which is the red box. Make sure you don't overshoot or undershoot in this case. And as always, not using the truss to steady yourself on the catch. Walking along the beam up onto the round box and then up onto the rings to complete a dismount to the dismount platform, which is the sideways long box. Now using the rope to get past the block onto the dismount platform without making contact with the block with your body or any part of your clothes. Up next, jumping out to the trapeze bar and using it to get to the canes. Get both canes into the second set of slots before dismounting to the red platform. That does mean that if you do drop a cane at any point, you have failed the obstacle and are required to drop. That will be the end of your official run. So once both are in, dismounting onto the red mat, again, not past the red mat, onto the red mat, and then taking salmon ladder in each hands and getting both sides of salmon ladder in as many or as few moves as possible up to the first set of orange tape indicated, and then dismount past the blue to hit the buzzer to finish your run. Running along the warp wall and running onto the nearest mat, and then continuing on to the onto the hook holds, getting one of the hook holds to the last carabiner before dismount of the platform. As with the other divisions, if you drop a hook hold before one is in the last carabiner, you've failed the obstacle. Use hands and feet as needed to traverse along the rope, up and along the rope, as far as needed to get to the doorknobs, and then use at least the last doorknob to dismount to the platform. So hands only on the doorknobs, and dismounting from the last doorknob onto the big blue platform, climbing up the truss and traversing out to the wing nut, complete a lâché from the first wing nut to the second wing nut, and then dismount from the second wing nut onto the dismount platform. So no spanning, you do have to complete a lâché, and onto the big blue mat. Up next, walking along the beam up to the high box, and then out to the rings, complete a lâché dismount onto the long ways dismount platform. From there, using the pulley to bring the rope closer and swing on the rope past the big high block to dismount onto the blue dismount platform on the other side without making contact with the block. Up next, jumping out the trapeze bar, complete a lâché to the 2 slots, the first set of 2 slots, and then a lâché to the second set of 2 slots, and dismount from the second set of holds onto the red mat only, not past, not before, onto the red dismount platform itself. Reach out to the salmon ladder bar and place it into the green set of rungs indicated, either jumping out or going to the lower one and then going up one, and then dismount past the blue to hit the buzzer to finish your run.